Hello, hello. Welcome to In the Tank with Deyo and Aaron Hairston, back from Arizona. I am so excited. Today, we're really going to go over some really key things. Today, I was, thinking about what we're going to talk about and what I can inspire you with. We got home real late last night, and I was just thinking this morning as I woke up with less of a voice that I had last Thursday. And it was because I had a lot of time having conversations about what 2018 is going to bring into my life, because I'm going to choose to create it. And so we're going to talk about the 5Gs. And so Chris Harder, if you're out there, brother, let's go. Our live stream, you asked us to do it, and here it goes. Nicholas, welcome to the live. Brent, what's up, brother? Josh, let's go, baby. Paxton, we're going to go ahead and add Paxton to this because Paxton's going to help me to share these 5Gs with you. Go ahead and jump on here. I just, again, want to thank you for joining us live in the tank with Aaron Harrison and Deyo. We're about to rock this thing, and I'm so excited. And so the 5Gs, okay, in accomplishing anything in your life. So you want to go from point A to point B. It's going to be up to these things, okay? And I learned this weekend, and it was profound. And so I want to share that with you. So the 5Gs. Paxton, what's going on, brother?
What's up, brother?
Yeah, man, we're about to get it today. We're going over the 5Gs. All right, just like Chris Harder asked us, we're going to go live, 5Gs. And so the 5Gs are as follows: goals, game plan, group, gratitude, and giving. Now, these 5Gs are the most important subjects of achieving anything that you want in your life. And so we're going to start off with goals. Now, obviously, there's a lot of different techniques out there about setting goals, SMART goals, all kinds of things. But we're going to focus on two elements of what a goal must be for you to achieve it. The first one, it has to be massively meaningful. Now, we've set goals in life, and we've been easily adjusting those goals as they get more and more difficult because they really didn't mean as much as we thought they did. Wouldn't you agree, Paxton?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right on. So being massively meaningful, a goal meaning that you're going to go through the pain no matter what comes along with achieving it, has to be one of the main focuses. The second one, it has to be measurable, right? What's the point of 4 downs if you're not shooting for 10 yards for a first down, right? So if you look at a measurable goal, it has to be something that you can track the progress of, because if you don't do that, then how close do you know you are to the goal? And so for me, I have some really big goals this year. I have a spiritual goal. I'm going to become even closer to God. I'm going to make that intention in the morning to fill my heart with the first seed of our biblical book, and really going to sink that into my soul and let that soul eat. The second one is going to be my physical goal. I'm on the gain train. I'm going to put on some pounds. I'm up 10 pounds right now. I got about 7 more to go before the 225, but I'm also going to make sure I stay at 10% body fat. So I'm going to be beast mode. I'm planning on being the Hulk for Halloween. So I just want to paint myself green in some cut up shorts and just go nuts over all throughout the neighborhood. So that's my goal for my physical. My business goal. I plan on helping 20 individuals over the next 30 days to make adjustments in their life, both physically and financially. And whatever one comes first, or if both fits the bill, I'm going to help them do that. Okay. And then as far as family, I'm going to be more present. I'm going to focus on my calendar. All right. I'm going to make sure that I set goals of setting appointments and things like that. And how I'm going to measure that is I'm going to each day first state what I'm going to shoot for, and have the seeds that I'm going to have grow. And at the end of the day, I'm going to say, what am I proud of accomplishing, right? So I'm going to measure the way I feel throughout each day, and that's going to dictate whether or not I achieved my task for the day. So how about you, Paxton? What are your 2 goals that are meaningful and measurable, or several goals that you have meaningful and measurable?
You know what I love most about your goals, Aaron, and everything you do? They're so specific. And I don't know if am I echoing to you guys?
You're good, brother.
I'm headphones in, but they're echoing like crazy. You hear me?
Yes, got you, brother.
Sweet. All right, cool. So, and I love that. I love that you hit all the areas, right? And one thing that I've been getting a little bit more focused on is not having that linear approach. A lot of times I'd have a goal and it'd be one thing. And I would get it, I would go towards that, but then I would leave so many other things on the table. So, to piggyback off what you said, I'm going to get closer to God this year. Spirituality is going to be huge for me. It's been really big in the last 6 or 7 months, but really dialing it in is going to be huge. From a personal fitness perspective, from a physical perspective, I'm throwing on at least 15 pounds of lean muscle mass, right? And I've
There we
been
go.
getting away with it. I've been getting away with it as a soccer player for a while because I've been training so hard that I could just eat whatever I wanted, and I wasn't dialing in my nutrition. So I'm going to start eating more with intent to really, really maximize this vehicle that I have. I've been good enough for a while, and I've been able to, reap the benefits of being an athlete. But I'm dialing in hard over the next. We set our goal for celebration, so before August, that's going to be huge for me, especially over the next 90 days. And from a business perspective, I am looking to finish my goal of helping 20 people this month. I'm almost halfway there, and I'm going to be helping them with not only finding the best health of themselves, but freedom in all areas of their life. And that's huge, and that's something that we've been able to see over the weekend is possible, and that is, going to happen over the next, 60 to 90 days.
Awesome. And how are you going to track them? How are you going to keep those goals that you set out for yourself measurable? How are you going to measure them?
Awesome. So a plan of mine is to hold myself accountable by setting to hit those goals, but setting a schedule for the day. So today, right now, this time is going to be my spiritual connection. This time is going to be my time to work on my physical goals. And this time is going to be working towards, those family areas and my business areas. And like you said, when I can put my head on the pillow at night, it's all right, check, check, check. And then I go to bed with a smile on my face. And even if I can't hit those at the standard that I hold, I did something towards it, right? And then it's something every single day now, and it's that progression that we are the happiest.
Awesome, awesome. And I love that because we do need to allow ourselves permission, right, to forgive ourselves, right? Forgive ourselves for being so stressed upon making it happen now and go, go, go. I think that's something we have to keep aware of. And one of the things I love so much about Peter Kelly's segment this weekend was she said something was very profound. She goes, what if success was measured by the way I feel versus the way that success looks like? What would I feel like? And so that's something that both Paxton and I have shared with you today is that we're going to focus on what we feel like as we're accomplishing our goals. So number one, goals. Number two, game plan. Now, I love how Chris Harder related this to football. And there's a lot of things going on, this NFL season. And the game plan of each coach is really going to be focused on accomplishing the goal with the tools that they have in place. Okay, and making sure you script, right, what are going to be the actions that you're going to take. And so for me, it's an 80-20 rule, right? 80% of the time, all right, 80% of the time, I'm going to make sure that I focus on the 20%, all right, the 20% that's going to be the most effective to get me 80% of the results. So stay with me here. 80% of the time, I'm going to focus on the 20% of the action, okay, that's going to result in 80% of the results that I want, okay? And so I'm going to remove the things that are going to distract me from getting activity done, all right, and actions done in that 20%, because that's the rule that has been stated to me, and I understand it, because a lot of times we focus on all these extra things, right, the getting ready to get ready, right, instead of actually putting in place a focused amount of time to get 80% of the results. And so with you, before I go with you, Paxton, I want to name three things. Okay, and this was so profound to me in creating a game plan. All right, you must have three very important beliefs. The first belief is I can get better. I can get better. Number two, I can make this better. All right, or I can create this to be better. I am willing to make this better. Right, so I can. All right, I can get better, I can make this better, and I am willing to make this better. Those three beliefs are so important when creating the game plan because there are going to be some things that are going to come along the way in that game plan that are there to distract you and to remind you, all right, to ask, how important is this goal? Is this still meaningful? Is this still something I'm willing to go through? And can I do it? Yes, I can, right? Yes, I can. So that's the thing about game planning. And so with you, Paxton, what are you going to do, or how are you seeing your 80-20 plan, your game plan of going into this execution over the next 90 days?
Yeah, and that's awesome. And my biggest goal and what I'm going to use for this specific tool is to split it. And he had us split this, right? What is going to provide us with the right energy going towards our goals, and what is a time waster? What robs us of that finite energy that we have? And what I did, and what me, Aaron, you see us looking down, we had this great training this weekend. So we got all these notes right down to look at. And, so I split a page in half. And, based on my goals, one of the top one was income specific. What is going to help me to grow that freedom that I'm looking for and this was just one area of, let's say, a financial area. And the other side was time wasting. What is it that takes away from me really reaching my goals? And, a couple of the things was, to be intentful in my posting and to my documenting when I'm growing a business online, to be really intentful to not look for sales, but to look for people that I can help. Right. And on another side, a time waster that is killing all of us. And even though it's a little catch-22, we're using it is to stay off social media when it's not serving me, to use social media as something that is going to help propel my goals and to help others, but not to be a time waster, not to be a filler just because a lot of times I'll be on Instagram or something silly when I'm not feeling good enough. Right, or I'm not feeling it's an escape mechanism for a lot of people on social media. We go straight to social media to vomit over everybody, or to use it as a time waster. And I'm getting rid of those time wasters in my life. So those 3 beliefs that Aaron alluded to was I can get better, or this situation can get better. Right, I can make this better. Right, and I'm willing to make this better. So that always alludes to the underlying theme that is on these tanks is life is continuously happening for us. So to add those 3 beliefs onto that is fuel to the fire, because life is continually happening for us, guys. Those 3 things, if you can repeat them on a daily, this can get better, I can make this better, and I'm willing and open to receiving it, to being better. Huge.
Yes, indeed. So the game plan, our second G that we're talking about, 5 Gs of achieving your goals this year. The third one, group. All right. Who's in your crew? Who are the people and the environments that you're surrounding yourself by mainly? And so the top influencers, right? We are influenced by things all the time. We're either being influenced or we're being influencers, right? So we're either influencing people or being influenced. And so when I start thinking about my crew, okay, what is the influencer in my life? I do a lot of podcasts. I do a lot of audiobooks. One of the things that I felt that I can do with these audiobooks is I can actually add those people to my top 5, right? Whether it be an autobiography by someone that's very successful, some sort of self-help books, some network marketing tools of helping me from people that have been massively successful in building an online or home-based business, right? Because these are the people that have done it. So they're in my top 5. I spend a lot of time with these individuals. Now, obviously, the elephant in the room is, what if they're family and friends? What if they're people that we can't remove from our life? Right? What do we do? Well, the way that I see it is be an influencer to them. Okay, don't allow them to influence you. So if they're in your life and they're not on the same path as you, right, or what they are focused on isn't in alignment with what you want to achieve, right, you don't necessarily have to remove them from your life. What you have to do is now teach them, right? Be an influencer to them. Show them the path you're on and help them to relate to the fact that it's going to help them. Got a lot of background noise. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. It's not for me.
That's crazy. All right, it stopped. So we're talking about being an influencer to those who aren't in alignment or going to serve you right now going towards your goals. All right. But now, all right, now you need to be influenced by something. And so for me, it's a lot of podcasts, it's a lot of audible books, and it's really the core group of people that I choose to be on the phone with, to be on lives like this, people that are going to help me to stay accountable, right? And also influence me because they're taking that shot, right? They're making that leap and they're making that commitment to make things better, right? They're making that commitment and they're willing to go through it so that we don't have the fact of, well, the people in my life aren't serving me, or the people that I'm talking to aren't doing the same thing I'm doing. And so my goal, okay, is to be able to do that. So I want to teach you guys that, you can remove the influencers in your life that's not serving you by easily adjusting the way that you look at them. I love the saying, if you want the things in your life that you see to change the way you see them, right? Perception is everything. And so for you, Paxing, for your group, all right, how are you going to adjust those influencers and the influence in your life for your group for the next 90 days?
And I love this one because this was huge, and it was even more clarity I got during this exercise. I have a handful of people, right? And it's about 5 people on this list. And I love that you are starting to include people that you are with every single day, whether you know them on a personal basis or not. And I didn't bring that into account. I brought faith into account, but not people that we listen to and we personally develop ourselves with. So I'm going to add some people to that list. However, part of this exercise, you know, Chris Harder had us write down people that are influential in your life, whether good or bad. And he said, draw a light line through someone that may not be serving you. And what I loved most about this was my group of people, I couldn't put a line through. I couldn't put a line through. Not because I felt bad or because I didn't want to lose them, but because that's how tight-knit my circle is. And that is how powerful influence that they have. And that is the goal, right? We are the average of the 5 people we hang out with, right? Something along those lines. And, you know, if 4 of your friends are broke, guess who the 5th broke person is going to be? Yourself. So, but I love that. I love that because the point of the exercise was to get rid of anyone that's not contributing to your life and to your vision. And I couldn't get rid of anybody. So I was really grateful to have that squad, to have that group that nobody is taking away from my life. They're only adding value. And that was huge. So it was a little bit different for me because, you know, this is something we've been working really hard on. And, you know, my 5 people right now, and I'm going to add a few now that, you know, the way you're doing it, are so in alignment with what we're doing that I couldn't get rid of anybody. And that's powerful. That's where you want to get to. So I know I'm on the right path.
Right on. And you know, Paxton, I didn't even think of that. As we were doing that exercise, I was getting frustrated that I didn't have people to cross out. And so I thought I was doing something wrong. Yeah, I'm sitting there, I'm like, And so as you're explaining it now, it's all coming to light for me, and that's what we want, right? That's the goal that we want to shoot for. And as we see people that may be in that category, that may come along the way, that's the first thing I thought of is how can we influence them, right? How can we help them to move forward so that they can serve us, right? Because we get to teach, right? Teaching is the best way to learn, right? To go ahead and do this, just like Chris is having us do this now. So that's the third one, group, right? Your group. The 4th G is gratitude. Now, one of the things that I've been really, really, really focused on for the last, say, 6 to 8 weeks is making sure I have a gratitude activity. Okay, a gratitude activity. And now I've always started on my videos off every morning with thanking the Lord for all the blessings that we receive, right? And doing that like wholeheartedly. I don't just say that, right? I don't do that just because it's the beginning of my video. Like I really want to, at that moment, I'm sharing that so that you can think that, so we can all be grateful for that, being alive. And so that gratitude practice is really a great tool of removing all of the bad energy, okay, or all of the negative energy, or all of the non-serving energy, okay, and bringing in all that goodness, because there's so many things that we can think of that we're grateful for, right? You know, just being able to see, being able to breathe, being able to just be, right? You know, and watch the sunrise first thing in the morning after your training if you work out early, or just being at the gym in the parking lot, knowing you got your gym bag, you got your gloves, you know, you're feeling good and you're about to go get your workout, being grateful that you have that. Right, that you get to go work out, you get to focus on your happiness. And one of the things that, you know, Paxton, I've been thinking about is one thing that everybody can truly be thankful for, whether they realize it or not, it's choice. We get to have choice, right? We get to have choice. And so gratitude and creating an activity in the beginning of your day is something that I've learned is so important. Some of the most successful, most influential, game-changing people in the world have this practice, and they don't break it for anything, right? They make sure that it's focused on, it's done, and it's the first seed that they plant in their mind before they begin their day. And so gratitude activity and having gratitude is our 4th G. How about you, Paxton? How do you go about doing your gratitude activity?
Yes, sir. And it always is first thing in the morning. It's the first thing that leaves my mouth is something I'm grateful for, because the fact of waking up is huge. I mean, that is a gift, right? That is such a gift. And a lot of people, when I speak to them about, you know, how do you start your day with gratitude, or, you know, it's like, I never have time. That always comes up. I never have time to be grateful, or I never have time to sit down. I'm always running. If they're a parent, I mean, you know better than anyone, Aaron. it can be time consuming. And a lot of times we don't put that gratitude first. We go straight into what the world is asking us to do already. And by giving yourself that 10 minutes, it could be as short as 10 minutes, to just list what you're grateful for, right? And Chris Harder alluded to it as well. He was like, it starts getting silly, the things you're grateful for. You're like, oh, I'm so grateful for, this light that turned on. I'm so grateful for this keyboard that I have. I mean, it just, as soon as you start being grateful for things, like the list just grows because you realize how something so simple can add so much value and so much love and so much beauty to your life. I mean, it's unreal. But what I do tell people that can't get over that, giving them 10 minutes is every process throughout the day. And what I've started doing is I have a lot of conversations in here, right? So even when I'm driving, it's like, man, I'm grateful for this sun right now, or man, I'm grateful for this thing. And you can do it throughout the day. Every activity, throw gratitude on your activity that you're doing right then and there. So we're on this live right now. I'm grateful for every single person that's hopping on, giving these likes, giving these love, giving these comments. You can do it. You can do it while you're doing things. So, don't feel like you have to stop your day to give gratitude. That's not necessarily true. You can add it to your daily routine, and that makes it become second nature, because when something bad may happen, you can flip into that gratitude stage. Okay, how is this life happening for me? And it's kind of just training your brain to do that, and that's where I'm at right now. So I start like yourself with gratitude, with prayer. However, you can incorporate it into everyday life throughout the day.
I love that. And so, yeah, big key. Make sure that you you continue to show that gratitude throughout all the activities in your life, and really, really, truly understand and feel that from the bottom of your heart. So that's our fourth one. Our fourth G of being successful in your goals is the gratitude, and creating activities where you share that gratitude. Now, the fifth one, I believe, is the most important one. And this is something that has been, fond and dear to both Paxton and I and our whole team. Right, we have a very large team globally, and shout out to all you in the UK. You see this flag behind me, right? Those have been game changers in our lives. They've taught us a lot, and it's really helped me to realize how small the world really is. As our global team moves, abundantly throughout the earth, giving is our fifth G. And now, what do you want to give? Right? What are you willing to give? And these are two questions that we have to remind ourselves are the most important things in life. So for me, my belief and my spirituality is based on giving everything I can in this physical life. Because I know that my spirit, the engine that runs this physical being of mine, I know is going to be fueled by the amount of giving that I do. Okay, and so if anything in my life is most important, is giving, right? It's giving of myself, giving of my time, giving of my intention, giving of my thoughts, giving of my actions in my life, giving to those individuals or those communities, everything that I have and everything that I've learned, because that's what life, I believe, is all about. It's about going through these experiences, right? Going through these life sources, right? Because that's really what fuels us up, is going through all the things that we experience through life, and then sharing it and learning how important it is to give. And so for me, I have actually a list of things that I want to give this year, right? And a lot of it is time, right? A lot of it is presence and being present, because a lot of things in my life have pulled me away from being just being present. I can be busy. And another thing we learned, right, the difference between action and activity is that activity can just draw all the energy away from you. Right? And it can just draw all that good energy that needs to be focused into an action. And so for me, gratitude is something that I'm so dear and fond of, but giving is what I'm truly thankful for, because I get to give. I get to give in the life that I live, so that the Lord will look upon me, and when he says, okay, let's get the scorecard out, I know that giving is going to be the number one thing on his list. It's going to be about 80% of whether or not I get through those gates or not. And so forgiving, and another one, right? So we go ahead and we put forgiving. Forgiving. So giving and forgiving is one of the most important things that we need to focus on in our life, and being able to forgive ourselves, right? For saying, you know what? I haven't given enough in my life. Let that go. Okay, let that go, because now you can give. And so our fifth G is giving. So Paxton, how about you? What is your belief in giving, and how are you going to give more, or what are you going to give more up and coming?
Awesome. I think this is my favorite one out of all five. And he said, "Don't worry about being taken seriously. Be serious about serving." Right.
Mm.
So like, I mean, I can't tell you how many times we don't do what we are being called to do because we're worried about what other people think. And we're being worried about being taken too seriously or being made fun of or not being taken seriously, right? But what we're forgetting is that if it's coming from a place of service, then that is the end all be all. That's what we want to do. We want to serve because that's how we were created to do. We were created to help, to love, to serve. Simple as. And giving can also be to yourself, guys. That's okay too. You can give to yourself. Understand that you don't drain your life because you feel as if I don't give enough, then I can't have what I want. That's not true. You need to be 100% yourself. So a lot of times, especially previous to this personal development, I would give, and I'd be empty. I'd be so tired. I would be so shot because a lot of the times, if you give with that expectation of receiving, it's kind of like a barter. You're trading at that point, and that's not what giving is. I'm not going to give to someone expecting something in return. But unless I'm at 100%, give to yourself. Personal development is huge because that's just going to pay tenfold into your environment and back into the world. So giving, as much as it is to help the world and other people, it really is important to give to yourself. Another thing that I wrote is give love to everybody, all people, and get rid of judgment. Get rid of judgment. So many times I can walk into a room or an area and see somebody that previously I might have judged already before meeting them and saying, oh, this is already I've already told their story in my head. And the truth is we've all come from the same source and we've all been made to live that abundant, beautiful lifestyle. That person, is not determined by their looks. And I've divorced myself from their story that I've already told in my head and giving love to all these people. So no matter who they are, what they look like, they're love to me. They're perfect. And I got rid of that. So I'm giving that love in that respect. So I'm giving love to all people and getting rid of judgment. And you said something before, and I forgot what you were saying. I was going to touch up on it. But yeah, that's where I'm at.
Right on.
I forgot what you were going to say.
Right on. So Paxton brought up a good point, and I want to just kind of touch on it a little bit because this is something I'm very, 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 very interested in teaching as much as possible, is being a gift giver, right? And so, we've been programmed as barterers, right? We've been taught to give to receive something, right? We give $1, we get a bar candy or whatever. We give $1, we get a piece of something, right? So in life, it doesn't work that way. Okay, it doesn't work that way because 50% of the time, if you barter, you're going to be disappointed. So there's no freedom there, right? There's no freedom there. And so to me, freedom is really living by choice, okay, and giving with fullness of heart, okay, fullness of heart. And there's no way it can be full if you're expecting something back in return, because if that person doesn't do it, then you're going to get disappointed, right? If it wasn't truly given without expectations. And so being a gift giver means giving with no attachment to the outcome, right? Giving because you truly just want that person to have the information, right? Have the gift of whatever it is that you find far and dear to your heart to them because you truly know it will make a difference in their life, right? And whatever they choose to do with it is what they choose to do with it. And you have no attachment to that. You've divorced the outcome. You've married the perfect process of giving and divorced the outcome. And this is the focus point that I want to make sure that I teach as much as I can this whole year. As every person I talk to, I'm going to ask them, have they ever been disappointed by giving a gift? And I guarantee you I'm going to get no's most of the time. And if I get a yes, I'm going to, okay, well, why did you get disappointed? And they'll say, well, they didn't like the gift. And I say, okay, well, did you give it to them because you wanted the recognition of giving them that gift? Or did you give them a gift because you knew it would make them, put them in a better place, or because you just really just wanted to make them happy and make them smile? Okay, or it didn't matter. You wanted to give because you could give, right? So being detached from the outcome is so huge, and really becoming a gift giver from the bottom of your heart is going to create that freedom in you. You will be able to walk the earth every single day in this physical life that you have with the freedom and peace of mind, knowing that there is no expectations from the outside, but only the creations that you choose to make each and every day in your life. Be a story creator. Don't live by the stories of what expectation leads to, Okay, don't live by that. Live by the story that you create each and every day, because you are a creator. You have the ability of that free will. And we've been blessed with greatness within us. So we have to see, how much do we have to give to become our best? That is the key here. And so those are 5 G's. Those are the 5 G's: goals, game plan, group, gratitude, and giving. If you focus on those 5 G's for the next 12 months, I can guarantee you that you will achieve more in the next 12 months than you ever have in how many years you've been alive. I can guarantee you that. And that really sums it up when you start thinking about, well, will this happen? And you have to make that question an answer of, yes, it can, because I'm going to make it happen. Any final thoughts, Paxton, while we get ready for our G's?
Yes, sir. And I'm going to touch up, I remember what I wanted to say. I'm going to touch up on that giving part. So you alluded to forgiving, right? Forgiving,
Yes.
Forgiving yourself, forgiving others. And that's huge. And I focused that recently on, maybe previously a lot of us may have thought someone did us wrong, or maybe we did ourselves wrong, or, we weren't too happy about how events happened or showed up in our life. And, I challenge you guys, I've challenged myself, and I've done this recently, and it's taken a weight off my shoulders. I have forgiven those that I had bad blood with, that I have come across in my life as, someone that has done me wrong. And I was able to do that by dropping my ego. Paxton Ballard a couple years ago would have held on to this. And if I saw him in the street, it would have been, it would have been bad. It would have been look the other way. It would have been that victim mentality. And recently I've been able to forgive those that weren't serving me, but they were still in the back of my head, right? They were still in the back of my head, and they were weighing me down, because there's times when they weren't even in the room and I was thinking about them. And it was like, they're not even here, Paxton. They're not even in the same state as you right now, and they're robbing you of your joy. So it goes back to,
Yes.
giving to yourself. Again, forgive those that you think have done you wrong. And it can be a family member, a friend, whatever, because they're not serving you. And that's all that is a story we've come up with inside, that we are allowing ourselves to stay stuck. And Peter talks about that. Change your story. They're kinking the hose, right? We want that energy to flow. Get rid of the kinks in our life, right? And I've done it recently. I've done it with some of my closest friends that I perceive to be my best friends from growing up, that I had to divorce, my story of how they did me wrong. And I can't tell you how many of them turned around and said, thank you, Pax. Thank you for that. Because they felt it almost as if I set them free by doing that. Right? And that is giving. I genuinely and literally gave them freedom by forgiving not only myself to not hold on to the story, but to forgive them for quote unquote doing me wrong, or how I perceive them doing me wrong. And that's huge. So forgiving is part of giving as well. And that was like one of the biggest things I took away from that 5th G.
Wow. So, if this message has really resonated with you, and, you want to get in contact with us, we're always here, right? Our movement to change 10,000 lives this year is going to need an army. And we know that, right? And so all we can do is lead out there the message and the delivery of how we're going to go out and do this. And so if this message resonates with you, please reach out to us. If you want to be part of this movement, please reach out to us. If you're finding it hard to find the areas of those 5 Gs difficult to stick with, reach out to us. We're here to help you. We're here to help everyone to move forward, because again, we know that changing one life at a time will change many, right? And so we're going to stay consistent with this message, and we want you all to be massively successful on this Monday as you seek out the rest of this week. And if you have any questions, anything you want to share with us, please go ahead and comment below in this thread. This will be an ongoing living live, as all the other tanks are. And we're here, right? We're here to deliver, and we're here to share. We're here to give as much as we can in life, because we don't know when the Lord's may call us, but we know every second we can be present, we're giving. We're giving everything we got so that we can change a life that needs exactly what we have. All right, well, thank you guys for joining us within the tank with Paxton Ballard and Aaron Hairston. We're out here crushing it, and we just want to thank you for joining us today. God bless y'all. Have a fantastic Monday. Thanks, Paxton. Brother. Take care, man.